All right, so we've got 20 psi on our coolant system here, and we haven't found any leaks. I think I did a little, showed that there wasn't any leaks earlier. But any external leaks, EGR cooler and all that's good. Pan, no metal shavings, beautiful inside the pan. But under inspection underneath, we have found that there is a little bit of coolant coming off a number 6 cylinder down into the pan, right? Yep. And it appears to be running down the inside of the liner, right?
Yep.
But we don't have the stiffening plate off yet. We're going to take that off so we can get a good look up in there. And we're going to look at our crankcase filter, because if you're getting coolant in this thing, it should be on the backside of the crankcase filter. It usually is. This thing's never really lost a lot of coolant. It did have some pressure issues, so that's probably where our pressure issues were coming from. But it's never really lost a lot of coolant, so that's kind of unusual to find. Also, I'd like to point this out. We had it sit overnight with 20 psi on it, which is 5 pounds over. This hose right here, this is all original stuff. This hose right here is swollen. You can see it's really bad. It's about to, looks like it wants to let go. So this hose right here is, and it's swollen right here really bad too. You can see that it's not normal. So, that's just normal diameter. So we're gonna have to replace this hose. That's a good way to spot hoses that are getting ready to fail, putting all that pressure on. All right, let's look inside of our crankcase cover and see if we see any moisture in there. All right, well, we got some dirt from the oil. That looks pretty good. Let's see the inside of this thing. That's pretty dry and clean. There's no buildup, no slime. A bit of oil in the bottom of it. So it's kind of surprising to actually find that we do have an actual leak. That discoloration is actually the fact that I just run clean oil all the time. It's not black and nasty oil, so that's pretty normal there. Does it smell like coolant? Mm-hmm. No, it smells like oil. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of odd that we're going to find that. So we're going to take the stiffening plate off and we'll get some good video of that. All right. We're down to the last 4 rods. Down to the last bolts. We put all the oil pan bolts. We marked all the oil pan studs. We marked the oil pan where the studs go versus the screws. We put all the oil pan bolts in a little freezer baggie, and I labeled them oil pan. So now we know all these bolts go to the oil pan. I just made a new bag for the block stiffening plate. So we're going to put all the bolts for the block stiffening plate in here so that we know those bolts go to the block stiffening plate. So we're going to do that. We get that thing off of there and come back. The block stiffening plate. I'm going to take this thing off. That's the last bolt. Here's one for the baggie. Here's the other one for the baggie. That makes 10 bolts, right?
Yep, that's 10 bolts.
All right, now we take this block stiffening plate out. All right. And let's get some good lighting under here and take a good look underneath the bottom of the engine. I'll grab that. And we will put that somewhere where we can clean it here in a little while. All right, now we're recording. We're underneath the engine. We got the stiffening plate off. There's the gears for the oil pump, and that's the oil pump there. And it looks like the gears are in really good shape. Oh yeah, this thing is beautiful, man. The gears, there's the front gear train, lower gear. And a little bit of wear on it, not bad. And then here's
look at the side,
piston number 1.
The side of the block, it usually be set it up real bad, be black. Usually when we do an end frame, we have to take the spray brake cleaner all up in there.
Really?
To clean it out. This thing
is beautiful.
Clean.
900, I can't believe it's 955,000 miles, man. Actual miles.
If anybody
Never
else,
been apart.
Anybody else dropped this, I said, man, you just had an end frame.
Look at this. That's no cylinder number 2 up in there. There's cylinder number 1. That's the bottom of the, and there's the labeling on the rod. You know, the rod cap and the rod itself. You can see that they got like numbers on them. So these are the ones that come apart. They're not the breakaway. You know, the newer ones are breakaway, right? These are non-breakaway. I think the newer ones that are breakaway have a
kind of crack there.
Yeah. So these are not breakaway rod caps. We have the old style.
All right. So you see this oil dripping off, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
The problem we had.
All right. Let's get under number 6. We found a problem with number 6.
All right. Can you see?
Why is that one discolored and these aren't? Or no, it's the same color. Right?
Yeah,
Kind of bluish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Let's look under here.
Uh-oh, we unplugged the light.
I got a flashlight, but it's not as good.
Back up. All right, but you see this oil here, right?
There we go. Yeah.
See that oil there?
Yeah.
All right, but look right here. See that trace of antifreeze?
Oh wow, I would have missed that. That was so easy to miss.
See that
All right,
trace?
let's get a camera right up on that and some light. Oh, you can't hardly see it like that with that much light.
Okay.
There you go. You can see just a trace
Right here too.
of red antifreeze
But the kicker
on number 6. Wow, that would have been so easy to miss.
And normally, if I just saw it here, I would say you got a liner leaking.
Okay.
But see, look up there on this rod.
Okay, let's look up on the rod.
See that trace there?
Oh wow, you got a trace of it right there.
So the only way it's going to get there.
Only way it's going to get on the rod.
It's going to come behind the liner.
And let's look at the liner. I can see the liner
And the
here.
piston. In other words, it's going to come out of the piston.
Right.
That tells us it's getting water on top of the piston.
Yeah, I'm looking at the bottom of the piston here. I don't see it. Can we rotate the motor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it right there coming off the bottom of the liner.
Yeah.
But it's hard to see. Let's rotate the motor. Can you have your guy rotate our motor around?
I tell you which way.
I can see it right on the bottom of the liner, right there, coming right off of it. That one drop.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just rotate that crank around, and we can see that liner real good on this side.
Other way, Luke.
Just pull it towards you, Luke.
Well, we want to roll the rod that
Well,
way.
you're supposed to only roll the engine one direction. The same direction we were going before. There you go. Pull her on around. Yeah, you can see a little bit of coolant in that joint. Yep.
Yeah. And usually when you got coolant in a joint, the piston's actually got water on top of it and it's letting it by the rings.
Yeah. Now we had let this thing set with 20 pounds of pressure on it all night. So.
You see good there.
Yeah. Keep it coming around. Keep coming around.
And you hear the compression in the engine?
Yeah. All right, right there. Just stop right there. Now I've got coolant coming off the jet. You see that on the bottom of the jet? And coolant coming off right there around the liner, around the bottom of the liner. But I've got coolant right there on the outside too. See on the block?
Mm-hmm.
So it's been running down the bottom of the liner. It's not on the outside of the liner at all. None of it on the outside. So it's on the inside of the liner. You can see it's coming down. Yeah, right there in that joint. Come on around with it. Yeah.
Got these big counterweights. It's kind of going to be hard to see.
I can still see it. All right. And we can come in around this side. You can see it. All right, stop right there. So, there it is right there on the inside of the liner.
You can see it?
Yeah. It's hard for me to hold the flashlight. But give me that pointer.
Okay.
That pointer. It's kind of hard to get in here. You can't see it on the camera well, but right here it's on the inside of the liner. So it's coming down the inside of the liner. So that means it's in the head or in the head gasket. It's not on the outside of the liner. So
this head gasket, we really need to check the counter bore on this one too.
yeah, we'll check the counter bore on this cylinder, and all that stuff. So, yeah, looks like we did find a little trouble.
You know, you look at a motor, I mean, look.
Otherwise, what do you think?
That thing's clean.
Really?
I mean.
Wow. I mean, this thing is like immaculately clean on the inside. You got a little bit of residue here. It looks like the coolant has come down and accumulated here a little bit on the block, but
You spoil a mechanic working on this, man. Don't even get dirty.
Don't, yeah, you know, you're gonna get dirty working on this motor.
Yeah.
So
Go home with clean hands. My wife think I hadn't been working.
Yeah, I heard that. That's what it looks like from the bottom. So, get some good video of this. Any other leaks underneath the truck, or you know, down the back of the?
No, it's pretty clean.
No other
It's got
coolant
grease,
leaks.
whether you've been greasing it.
Oh yeah, I've been greasing the crap out of it. Oil pump looks good.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
like I said, it looks fairly fresh engine.
Yeah, you can see that coolant right there, just a tiny bit. And coming off that jet.
I mean, it's not a bad leak. I mean, they usually...
It's a tiny one, yeah.
Like I got one outside the shop now. It's just dripping on the ground, but this here is just a little bit of drip.
That would have been very, very easy to miss for anybody.
Yep.
I mean, you got a tiny little bit here and there. Wow.
It just serves another good reason why not just to tear the engine down.
Right, you always check. Yeah. Yeah.
Even though we didn't think it had a problem.
I didn't think it did, no.
No,
I've never lost coolant by pressurizing it that I could measure.
Kind of like the
And I've
injector.
let it sit a lot of times with a coolant on it, a couple days at a time sometimes.
It's kind of like the injector test.
Yeah.
We found one or two bad, and
Yeah.
we never would have known it. Truck runs good, great fuel mileage.
Yeah. Never get too hasty when you're going to tear a motor down. You always do all your checks first. This is proof of that. Even though this motor's been babied. All right, let's figure out what we're going to do next.